The energies of heaven, sun, moon, stars, and all that exist above, move towards the earth. The energies of the earth emanate in an upward direction. Somewhere in between, man and all things in creation exist. The sages of old knew of these energies and learned ways to cultivate them through exercising of the mind, body, and spirit. The energy exercises they developed are known as Qigong. Allow yourself to learn these energy exercises and become peaceful in mind, body, and spirit. When the best student hears of the way, he practices it assiduously. When the average student hears about the way, it seems to him one moment there, the next gone. When the worst student hears about the way, he laughs out loud. If he did not laugh out loud, it would be unworthy of being the way. When practicing the gentle art of Qigong, the entire body must be coordinated as one complete unit. Your body will then be able to follow your mind, moving in any direction you wish. In addition, to ensure that your movement is totally harmonious and balanced, you must keep your standing posture as balanced as a scale. This will allow you to instantly detect any changes in your qi or balance. The Tao gives birth to the One. One gives birth to two. Two gives birth to three. Three gives birth to all things. All things have their backs to the female and stand facing the male. When male and female combine, all things achieve harmony. Ordinary men hate solitude, but the sage makes use of it, embracing his aloneness, realizing he is one with the whole universe. True Qi is a combination of what is received from the heavens and the Qi of water and food. It permeates the whole body. That which was from the beginning in heaven is Qi. On earth it becomes visible as form. Qi and form interact, giving birth to all things. Knowing others is intelligence. Knowing yourself is true wisdom. Mastering others is strength. Mastering yourself is true power. If you realize that you have enough, you are truly rich. If you stay in the center and embrace death with your whole heart, you will endure forever. Success is as dangerous as failure. Hope is as hollow as fear. What does it mean that success is as dangerous as failure? Whether you go up the ladder or down it, your position is shaky. When you stand with your feet on the ground, you will always keep your balance. What does it mean that hope is as hollow as fear? Hope and fear are both phantoms. They arise from thinking of the self. When we don't see the self as self, what do we have to fear? See the world as yourself. Have faith in the way things are. Love the world as yourself. Then you can care for all things. In the whole world, nothing is softer or weaker than water, and yet even those who succeed when attacking the hard and the strong cannot overcome it. Because nothing can harm it, the weak overcomes the strong. The soft conquers the hard. No one in the world can deny this, yet no one seems to know how to put this into practice. Therefore the sage says, one who accepts a people's shame is qualified to rule it. One who embraces a condemned people is called the king of the universe. True words seem paradoxical. When people are alive, they are soft and weak. At their death, they are hard and rigid. All young things, including grass and trees, are soft and frail. In death, they are withered and dry. So all that are hard and rigid take the company of death. Those who are soft and weak take the company of life. There was something formless and perfect before the universe was born. It is serene, empty, solitary, unchanging, infinite, eternally present. It is the mother of the universe. For lack of a better name, I call it the Tao. It flows through all things, inside and outside, and returns to the origin of all things. The Tao is great. The universe is great. Earth is great. Man is great. These are the four great powers. Man follows the earth follows the universe follows the Tao follows only itself. Can you coax your mind from its wandering? Keep to the original oneness. Can you let your body become supple as a newborn child's? Can you cleanse your inner vision until you see nothing but the light? Can you love people and lead them without imposing your will? Can you deal with the most vital matters by letting events take their course? Can you step back from your own mind and thus understanding all things? Giving birth and nourishing, having without possessing, acting with no expectations, leading and not trying to control. This is the supreme virtue. Fill your bowl to the brim and it will spill. Keep sharpening your knife and it will blunt. Chase after money and security and your heart will never unclench. Care about people's approval and you will be their prisoner. Do your work, then step back. The only path to serenity. "30 spokes join together at one hub, but it is the hole in the centre that makes it operable. Clay is moulded into a pot, but it's the emptiness inside that makes it useful. Doors and windows are cut to make a room. It is the empty space that we use. Therefore, existence is what we have, but non-existence is what we use." If you want to shrink something, you must first allow it to expand. If you want to get rid of something, you must first allow it to flourish. If you want to take something, you must first allow it to be given. This is called the subtle perception of the way things are. The soft overcomes the hard. The slow overcomes the fast. Let your workings remain a mystery. Just show people the results. The mark of a moderate man is freedom from his own ideas, tolerant like the sky, all-pervading like sunlight, firm like a mountain, supple like a tree in the wind. He has no destination in view and makes use of anything life happens to bring his way. Nothing is impossible for him because he has let go. He can care for the people's welfare as a mother cares for her child. Empty your mind of all thoughts, let your heart be at peace. Watch the turmoil of beings, but contemplate their return. Each separate being in the universe returns to the common source. Returning to the source is serenity. If you don't realize the source, you stumble in confusion and sorrow. When you realize where you come from, you naturally become tolerant, disinterested, amused, kind-hearted as a grandmother, dignified as a king. Immersed in the wonder of the Tao, you can deal with whatever life brings you, and when death comes, you are ready. The great Tao flows everywhere, all things are born from it, yet it doesn't create them. It pours itself into its work, yet it makes no claim. It nourishes infinite worlds, yet it doesn't hold on to them. Since it is merged with all things and hidden in their hearts, it can be humble. Since all things vanish into it, and it alone endures, it can be called great. It isn't aware of its greatness, thus it is truly great. Express yourself completely, then keep quiet. Be like the forces of nature. When it blows, there is only wind. When it rains, there is only rain. When the clouds pass, the sun shines through. If you open yourself to the Tao, you are at one with the Tao, and you can embody it completely. If you open yourself to insight, you are at one with insight, and you can use it completely. If you open yourself to loss, you are at one with loss, and you can accept it completely. Open yourself to the Tao, then trust your natural responses, and everything will fall into place. In the beginning was the way. All things issue from it. All things return to it. To find the origin, trace back the manifestations. When you recognize the children and find the mother, you will be free of sorrow. If you close your mind in judgments and trap it with desires, your heart will be troubled. If you keep your mind from judging and aren't led by the senses, your heart will find peace. Seeing into darkness is clarity. Knowing how to yield is strength. Use your own light and return to the source of light. This is called practicing eternity. He who is in harmony with the way is like a newborn child. Its bones are soft, its muscles are weak, but its grip is powerful. It doesn't know about the union of male and female. So intense is its vital power, it can scream its head off all day, yet it never becomes hoarse. So complete is its harmony. The sage's power is like this. He lets all things come and go effortlessly, without desire. He never expects results. Thus he is never disappointed. He is never disappointed. Thus his spirit never grows old. Fame or integrity? Which one is more important? Money or happiness? Which is more valuable? Success or failure? Which is more destructive? If you look to others for fulfillment, you will never truly be fulfilled. If your happiness depends on money, you will never be happy with yourself. Be content with what you are. Rejoice in the way things are. When you realize there is nothing lacking, the whole world belongs to you. Whosoever is planted in the way will not be rooted up. Whosoever embraces the way will not slip away. Her name will be held in honour from generation to generation. Let the Tao be present in your life, and you will become genuine. Let it be present in your family, and your family will flourish. Let it be present in your country, and your country will be an example to all countries in the world. Let it be present in the universe, and the universe will sing. How do I know this is true? By looking inside myself. The sage doesn't try to be powerful, thus he is truly powerful. The ordinary man keeps reaching for power, thus he never has enough. The sage does nothing, yet he leaves nothing undone. The ordinary man is always doing things, yet many more are left to be done. The kind man does something, yet something remains undone. The just man does something and leaves many things to be done. The moral man does something, and when no one responds, he rolls up his sleeves and uses force. When the way is lost, there is goodness. When goodness is lost, there is morality. When morality is lost, there is ritual. Ritual is the husk of true faith, the beginning of chaos. Therefore, the master concerns himself with the depths and not the surface, with the fruit and not the flower. He has no will of his own, he dwells in reality and lets all illusions go. The sage gives himself up to whatever the moment brings. He knows that he is going to die, and he has nothing left to hold on to. No illusions in his mind, no resistances in his body. He doesn't think about his actions. They flow from the core of his being. He holds nothing back from life. Therefore he is ready for death, as a man is ready for sleep after a good day's work. The ancient sages were profound and subtle. Their wisdom was unfathomable. There is no way to describe it. All we can describe is their appearance. They were careful as someone crossing an iced-over stream, alert as a warrior in enemy territory, courteous as a guest, fluid as melting ice, shapeable as a block of wood, receptive as a valley, clear as a glass of water. Do you have the patience to wait till your mud settles and the water is clear? Can you remain unmoving till the right action arises by itself? The master doesn't seek fulfillment, not seeking, not expecting. She is present and can welcome all things. When a country is in harmony with the way, factories make trucks and tractors. When a country goes counter to the way, warheads are stockpiled outside the cities. There is no greater illusion than fear, no greater wrong than preparing to defend yourself, no greater misfortune than having an enemy. Whoever can see through all fear will always be safe. Use your mind to exercise your internal energy. Let the internal energy sink and be attached to your body. Eventually, the internal energy can be condensed into the bone marrow and give you a healthy, long, peaceful life. The sage is always there to help people, so that no one is forsaken. She is always there to see to things, so that nothing is lost. This is called being clothed in light. For what is a good person but a bad person's teacher? What is a bad person but raw material for a good person? If you do not respect your teacher or love your raw material, you are greatly confused, regardless of your intelligence. I call this an essential yet subtle mystery. Colours blind the eye, sounds deafen the ear, flavours numb the taste, thoughts weaken the mind, desires wither the heart. The master observes the world, but trusts his inner vision. He allows things to come and go. His heart is open as the sky. Yin becomes yang, and yang becomes yin. Yin and yang change into each other and combine, and their root is the same. If you desire to understand the principle of change into each other and combining of yin and yang, then seek for the place of change in yin and yang. Without opening your door, you can open your heart to the world. Without looking out your window, you can see the essence of the way. The more you know, the less you understand. The sage arrives without leaving, sees the light without looking, achieves without doing a thing. things come into being from the Tao or the Way and differentiate into various combinations of yin and yang. One manifestation of yin and yang is between reality and illusion. Light always produces shadow. Sound produces echo. We are always in a relationship between concrete reality and illusionary, mystical realm of shadows, echoes and dream. The sage explains, am I dreaming I am a butterfly, flittering here, flittering there, or am I a butterfly dreaming I am a man? In harmony with the Way, the sky is clear and spacious, the earth is solid and full, all creatures flourish together, content with the way they are, endlessly repeating themselves, endlessly renewed. When man interferes with the Tao, the sky becomes filthy and earth becomes depleted, the equilibrium crumbles, creatures become extinct. The master views the parts with compassion because he understands the whole. His constant practice of humility, he doesn't glitter like a jewel, but lets himself be shaped by the Way, as rugged and common as a stone. Your movement should follow a graceful curved line to allow your qi to flow freely. Let your movement revolve as smoothly as the turning of a wheel. In other words, your movement should circulate ceaselessly and evenly, without interruption or imbalance. Between heaven and earth there is nothing but one spiritual qi that produces humankind and all things. Human beings are endowed with a portion of this qi when they are born. The mind is the most subtle aspect of the qi, and what is commonly understood as the intellectual qi that rises to the top. The mind is in constant motion, and the principle underlying that motions are called intrinsic nature. When it moves in an orderly fashion, it's called principle. Principle is invisible but manifests in the qi. Intrinsic nature is invisible but manifests in the mind. The mind is qi. When the mind is not cultivated, it becomes wild and uncontrolled, meaning that its movements have become disorderly. Cultivating the qi is cultivating the mind. Some speak of cultivating the mind, but this is something very difficult to grasp. However, cultivating the qi involves powerful movements and morning breathing exercises that give us a concrete path to follow. Although the body consists of qi and motion, the moving qi must have a ruler. The ruler is not outside the movement, but it is the principle of underlying movement. Look at it from the point of view of change. We call it movement. Look at it from the point of view of unchanging. We call it the ruler. When those who would cultivate their qi preserve the ruler, blood and qi are transformed into reason. When the ruler is lost, reason is transformed into blood and qi. There is a very fine line between the two. If you don't want to be broken, bend. If you want to be straight, allow some crookedness. If you want to be filled, become empty. If you want to be made new, let yourself be used. If you want to be rich, desire little. Wanting more and more is craziness. Therefore the sage embraces oneness and becomes a model for the world. Not self-centered, he is enlightened. Not self-righteous, he is a shining example. Not self-glorifying, he accomplishes glorious things. Not boastful, he grows large inside. He alone does not compete, and so the world can never overcome him. When the ancients said, "If you don't want to be broken, bend," were they just uttering empty words? Bend sincerely, and wholeness will return to you. To look for the way is impossible, for it cannot be seen. It is beyond sight. To listen for the way is impossible, for it cannot be heard. It is beyond hearing. To grasp at the way is impossible, for it cannot be caught. It is beyond substance. These three cannot be fully comprehended, yet they are fundamentally connected, and somehow they are one. The way at its highest isn't bright, at its lowest isn't dark. It is infinite, continually emerging completely beyond description. It returns again and again to nothingness. If you cling to the way of ancient times, the present will be no problem. To know the ancient origins is to follow the way. The sage says, in dwelling, live close to the earth. In thinking, be open to new ideas. In relationships, be kind. In speech, tell the truth and keep your word. In leading people, demonstrate integrity. In daily matters, be competent. In acting, consider the appropriate timing. If you do not try to prove yourself superior to others, you will be beyond reproach. Do without doing, work without forcing, taste without seasonings, recognize the great in the small and the many in the few, repay hatred with kindness, deal with the difficult while it is still easy, begin great works while they are small. Certainly the earth does difficult work with ease and accomplishes great affairs from small beginnings. So the sage, by not striving for greatness, achieves greatness. If If you think everything is easy, you will find only difficulty. That is why the sage considers all things difficult and finds nothing too difficult in the end. The way is the bosom of the universe. 'Tis the good person's treasure and the bad person's refuge. Flattery may buy one's position, and good deeds can win people over. But if one's heart is not pure, that is all the more reason to cling to the way. Whosoever holds firmly to the way will draw all the world to themselves. They may go anywhere and not be afraid, finding only safety, balance and peace. Music and good food lure passers-by, but words about the Tao seem bland and flavourless to them. Look and it cannot be seen, listen and it cannot be heard, use it and it cannot be exhausted.